So here my client hasn't had a balayage touch-up in about 2 years. She went to another salon for her previous one, and today we're about to give her a nice touch-up and brighten it up. What my client wants is she wants more of a ashy, light brunette balayage, and right now she has quite a bit of blonde in there. I won't really need to cover over any of her blonde because we don't want to actually lighten that up. Her balayage is going to be a very soft tone balayage, and I already know the process that I'm going to do before I've even started foiling her hair. Because the end result isn't going to be crazy high contrast and we want it to be quite dimensional, I am using a wider weave with this. When you have low contrast between your two colors, you do want to make sure that you're going to be using a wider weave between your drops and your highlights so that you get a larger piece of the color that is supposed to be contrasting to her natural color. What happens if you don't do this and you just decide to do a baby light or a skinny weave for every piece is the hair overall just looks like it's a slightly lighter color. It doesn't actually give that soft dimensional piecey balayage look. And that's what we're going for today, is a very piecey balayage. So my assistant has taken on the back area for me while I am doing her halo in the front. Whenever I do the halo in the front, I always like to do all the way around the perimeter of the face in an equal halo everywhere. I try not to miss any single pieces, and I want to make it a little blonder than everything else. This method is actually called a money piece in the hair world. I'm sure you've heard it before, and this is how I personally like to do it so that my money piece is very even and equal everywhere. I take small sections because around the hairline is very rounded, so you don't want to take really large sections because then you're going to get squared off edges, and those will show. I would say about 99% of my balayage clients want a money piece. And the 1% that don't usually just want to go for that standard highlights look, which is totally fine. But anybody who does want to go for a money piece wants just a little bit more brightness around the face and a little bit more boldness. Now, depending on how you do your money piece, that can depend on how big and bold it is. I usually like to do something that's a little bit more on the natural side, unless my client asks specifically for a very bold piece. After I do the money piece, I like to move up towards the crown and meet my apprentice up at that level, where I'll leave a veil at the top of her hair to slightly be darker than the rest of it so it can gently fall over top of the rest of the balayage. It gives a really beautiful effect. You'll know what I mean at the end. I probably forgot to mention before, but we are using only a 20 volume with Blonde Me by Schwarzkopf. That's all you ever need to lift even anybody with like a natural level 2 or 3 hair. You just go low and slow. So she is fully processed and ready to go to the sink, and we like to always show our foil pulls because it's super satisfying. Now, a lot of my clients will be asking me, why did you need to lift her so light? You're just doing an ash brown. It comes down to color theory, and the problem is when you have brown hair and you only lift it to a level 6 or 7, which is brown, what you're going to have underneath is a lot of orange to fight. And when you have a lot of orange to fight, that means that you can't actually have a cool brown tone. So you have to lift lighter than the actual level you need to be at to cancel out that warmth. So if we lift her to a level 8, it's easier for us to tone her down to a cool brown, which is in a level 6 or 7, which would naturally have a lot of orange in it, which is harder to fight than yellow. So now we're rinsing out her hair, and we always make sure to really wash out the bleach. And the reason of that being is that if bleach is left in the hair and we tone it, the bleach changes the color of the tone. So we always give it a really good rinse and a really good wash, usually with 2 shampoos. And here we are using one of my favorite purple shampoos. It's the Fanola No Yellow shampoo. So we would use this on her because she has a lot of yellow in her hair. She doesn't really have almost any orange. So we're just going to use the No Yellow shampoo on her and let it sit for about 5 minutes to pre-tone her hair, and then we will actually tone it. So now we're going to be toning her with a color that gives her more of a ashy brown all over her highlights. Now normally I'll do her highlight toner and then I will do a root drop toner just to smudge that area in between. And here her color is fully processed. I know it looks hella dark, but don't worry, that's exactly what we want. Now we're starting to rinse it out, and the thing is with Schwarzkopf toners, I notice that they look really crazy when they're on, but when you rinse them off, they're a beautiful color, and you just have to know the process with Schwarzkopf toners. And now it comes time for the wash and rinse, and we're ready to go to the chair. So I skipped the blow dry because that's really boring, and we're going right into the curls. So a lot of people ask why I curl the way I curl and how I curl the way I curl. So here it is on a client. I essentially just split the hair into two sections, left and right, all the way down the middle, and I grab big random chunks and just curl everything towards the back. And that gives a really, really soft kind of mermaid wave, which I feel is very easy to do, and it's very fast to do, and it's effective. It lasts for a long time. So I've finished Tanisha's right side, and now we are starting on the left, and I'm letting the right side cool before I brush anything out. Letting your curls cool in their position helps them to hold longer and to stay longer. So make sure they fully cool, and then you spray them so that they stay in as long as possible. I do have another video on how to do these types of curls on your own head of hair. It's one of my Get Ready With Me sets, and it's called Get Ready With Me, How to Do Soft, Easy Waves. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. So she's been curled, it's cooled, and we've sprayed it. So it's time to brush out her curls. For anybody who has hair that holds a curl better, I would brush it out with a brush. For anybody who has hair that doesn't hold a curl very well, I would use my fingers to hand comb it out. And here's her final result in indoor lighting, and here it is in the outdoor lighting. It's my personal favorite is outdoor lighting. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel and support small businesses.